GAC Group 2015 ITTF World Tour Polish Open Major Series. On table number 1, single quarterfinal, KARLSSON Mattias from Sweden, FEGERL Stefan from Austria.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GAC Group 2015 ITTF World Tour Polish Open. This is a major series on the World Tour. I'm Adam Bobrow with you here in Warsaw, Poland. And coming up, we have our first men's singles quarterfinals. Should be an exciting showdown between the young Swedish Mattias KARLSSON on the left, and on the right, Stefan FEGERL from Austria. This match, remember, we're looking at the last 8 spots for men in essentially a tournament that drew out the majority, the overwhelming majority of the best players in the world, including all the top Chinese players, Junmi Zutani as well, Dmitry Ovtcharov. And yet we've got the 23rd seed in this tournament, world ranked 42, Stefan FEGERL here, who took out Marcos Freitas along the way, the Ask a Pro Anything player for the week in this tournament. You can send in your questions on the official ITTF Facebook page. And world rank number 74, the 57th seed in this tournament, Mattias KARLSSON. Now, Mattias KARLSSON has quite an unusual style. He's got the short pips on the forehand. He has excellent control on the receive with them, very flat-hitting, aggressive game. It's quite similar to a lot of the women's play, as many of the women have told me, but at the same time, very powerful and fast, comfortable from far from the table. There's Christian KARLSSON, his doubles partner, in this Sverige jacket from Sweden. Christian KARLSSON still alive in doubles with Mattias KARLSSON. And they are not brothers, it's just a very common last name in Sweden. 2014 was the year for Christian KARLSSON. Really made his name known. Had a few huge victories, played against Xu Xin in the Korea Open semifinals last year. And this year so far, Mattias KARLSSON has been climbing through the ranks. Last month was world rank number 106, jumped to 74, and after this tournament, you can be sure to see his world rank climbing. Stefan FEGERL, 27 years old, is not in the race to Lisbon, is not qualified, is low in the rankings. Mattias KARLSSON at number 64 in the race to Lisbon as well, has a long ways to go. Both of these players have beaten many odds to be here in the final 8. Mattias KARLSSON, here's a list of names that he's taken down. So first off, Mattias KARLSSON took down Jan An 4-3, 11-8 in the 7th. Quite difficult to do, huge upset. Following that, 4-1 over Stefan Mengel. And then following that, took down hometown favorite Jakub Diaz from Poland. That was 4-3, happened earlier today. Stefan FEGERL has knocked out a bunch of top players himself. In the first round, Viktor Brog from Sweden. Then following that was Marcos Freitas, the big upset this tournament for Stefan FEGERL. And then Tong Peng, another huge name to add to the collection of victors, of upsets so far this tournament. So these two have played 4 times in the past and are dead even, 2 wins each. So this match will determine who has a winning record against the other. So matches, they're tied. Games, Stefan FEGERL has won 11 games, and Mattias KARLSSON has won 9. The last time they played was at the Spanish Open, and that was Mattias KARLSSON's victory, 4-2. Spanish Open, one of the first big tournaments for Mattias KARLSSON. Again, 2015, really the year of Mattias KARLSSON, making a name for himself, the number 3 player from Sweden, but really joining Christian KARLSSON in the race to move up the rankings. Stefan FEGERL I've referenced many times as far as deceptive serves. He has a serve where he drops the racket under the ball, and it's tough to tell at the point of contact if he's pulling down, if he's putting heavy spin on it, or if it's dead, very light spin. FEGERL has helped Austria in many teams competitions. He's sort of the quiet partner, the unassuming player. Not quite as well known as Robert Gardoche. Also got Daniel Habasson, but Stefan FEGERL completes the team quite nicely. Another look at Christian KARLSSON, one of the up-and-coming players from Sweden. The next generation right here. Christian and Mattias, no relation. Stefan FEGERL has been said not to miss. Watching his match with Marcos Freitas, had a chance to see that. And FEGERL really had so much control in defensive play at the Werner Schlager Academy. And then Richard Prauza in training said, this man has so much control. If he could learn to attack with such precision, he'd be deadly. Worked on his attack game, and you'll see FEGERL playing both forehands and backhands from mid-court, a few steps off, and right at the table. Is a very consistent, aggressive game, and from blocks and defense just does not miss, really forces the opponents to work for their points. So right now, this is the big match of the two surprised quarterfinalists. There's going to be a European in the semifinals. Whoever wins this match is going to have the tournament of their life. We'll see. It's a best of 7. FEGERL to start with the serve. Little break off the top of the net. That was the serve I was talking about. FEGERL dropping the racket right at the point of contact. Again, it's a pretty baffling serve. Try and read the spin on this. Clearly trouble for KARLSSON as well. And you can see as many players with pips of any sort serving with the inverted side of the racket. KARLSSON using the red to spin the ball and quickly twiddle. Break off the top of the net, spins it with the backhand. One thing KARLSSON's quite good at, other than short play and receive with the short pips, is change of pace. Looking for the short line of the table, but it's deep. Heavy topspin from FEGERL for the pressure. Heavy spin on the backhand side. FEGERL takes the 2-point lead back. Now, it's funny to say this, but it's been said about a few players before. I think both of these players are happy with the draw. Considering the players who are left, they both have a pretty decent shot at winning this match. From deep in the backcourt, the fishing shot goes just long. FEGERL extending his lead. See how quick FEGERL is to turn the ball with his wrist out to the forehand side. Right at the back of the table, keeps his positioning. Soft touch again, that's what sets up that attack opportunity for KARLSSON. Very impressive with his short pips, how he's able to keep it so low to the net, receive it softly. Mistimes the spinny backhand. This gets the spinny one in and then goes for the kill shot on the next, but just misses. See it, there's the spin. Follow up a little bit more forward, ball stays low. Second time it sneaks under the racket. Fool me once. Second time in a row. Got to be credit to FEGERL here for this shot. Very spinny, the ball just stays low. And again, it's a best of 7 match. It's only game 1, but FEGERL in an excellent position starting off the match. The second towel break to the game. It's interesting to see the physicality of these players. Both of these players taller than the average player. Mattias KARLSSON, probably one of the 3 tallest players in the world at the world-class level in the top 100. And being so tall means you have a bigger middle. Of course, you've got bigger reach for the wide shots, but are a little bit more vulnerable in the center of the table. Takes a little longer to recover. And with 7 game points, uses the first one. Stefan FEGERL, excellent form in game 1, takes it 11-3. We'll see how Mattias KARLSSON changes his strategy out here and his tactics for game 2 just after this.
Mecz na stole numer 2 został przerwany.
Kom igen nu. Ja.
And we're back for game 2. Mattias KARLSSON with a whole lot of hop in his step right now. Definitely trying to raise the energy. You can see he wants to change things, take the initiative, play a more aggressive game 2. And it's a similar pattern we've seen. Gets the opening attack, but when the ball comes back, FEGERL's ball stays low off the bounce. Sneaks right under the racket. And it still seems a bit uncomfortable for KARLSSON. He's going to have to make some adjustments to reading the spin of FEGERL's shots. FEGERL hasn't even turned up the full-on attacks yet. He's really just comfortably spinning it back, keeping it in play. You can see how unhappy FEGERL is, slapping his head right after that. That was a question of decision. Steps around the corner, takes it a little early. No need to rush this shot. Has the time, tries to keep it a little bit lower than necessary. There's some power, the over-the-table backhand. You hear the grunt on it, FEGERL putting in a bit more effort and energy there. Now with the short pips on the forehand, KARLSSON's shots are going to be a little bit flatter. The trajectory is going to be quite different than the loops you'd see from an inverted rubber forehand. FEGERL's doing a great job of keeping the ball low. In that point, KARLSSON trying to find the opening. There we go, spins it up with the short pips on the forehand side and follows up with the spinny backhand attack. It's a satisfied doubles partner, coach and friend right there, Christian KARLSSON. FEGERL does the same trick, dropping the racket out from under, but this time turns the angle for sort of a reverse pendulum serve. Tough to read how much spin is on that. There it is, 3 big forehands in a row from Mattias KARLSSON to take the point. It's the aggression, the initiation we want to see from him. This is how he wins most of his points, is with the big forehand attacks, changing up the placement, keeping the opponent away from the table. Break off the top of the net for FEGERL with the apology. KARLSSON could use a break or two right now. Feels like he's playing a better game than he was in game 1, but the score is similar right now. There we go, spinny backhand down the middle of the table from right at the back edge. FEGERL gets a lot of advantage on his serve. See, he's usually pretty comfortable for his third ball. there it is again, a comfortable third ball, starts opening up with the backhands and finishes with the grunting shot down the short side of the table. The soft flip to start it off from KARLSSON. A bit handcuffed there. That's the finishing shot again. This is it. If he can keep the pace on the first shot, the opening attack, he's going to be able to drive FEGERL off the table, be in control. It's very difficult to lob to someone who's flat hitting with short pips. You don't have their spin to work with. The trajectory's changed. Ball doesn't dip as much as it would if they put spin on it. A bit too predictable. FEGERL reads it, no problem. Opens with the backhand. And it's 5 game points for FEGERL now to go up 2-0. Remember, these two are dead even in matches 2-2. Last time they played, KARLSSON won. Opening spin shot. Again, very difficult to read how much spin is on the loop from short pips. So 1 game point saved for KARLSSON. There it is, the softer spinny shot stays low and FEGERL takes it 11-6. A better game from KARLSSON, but not enough. Doubles his score. If he can do it one more time, he'll probably take the next game. We'll see. Game 3, stick around.
När det väl blir spel, då är det lugnt. De tre första får han få lite sämre. Så var det inget sådär. De första bollarna är spel. Ja, exakt. Och så bara vi kommer bara ligga där i. Kom igen.
Players are back for game 3. Stefan FEGERL leading 2-0 over Mattias KARLSSON in yellow at the top of the screen. Strong loops from near the table from FEGERL. So far, he hasn't needed to pull those out too much. His receive game, from touch shots to opening backhands, have been so strong, along with his service game. Flat hit right into the body, reads the spin well, takes the ball at the top of the peak and just crushes it back for the point. See this again. Difficult spin shot for the first ball. Ambitious play from KARLSSON. This time a bit more underspin on the reverse pendulum. FEGERL drives it off the top of the net now. And it's the backhand to finish the point, changing the placement of the service. KARLSSON again very satisfied, out of his chair and on his feet. Trying to light a fire, and KARLSSON does not want his teammate and his player to be down 0-3. Covering the middle well, the big middle that KARLSSON has out here. Trying to pressure FEGERL into finding a shot out wide. He keeps his balance and his weight forward. Even a step behind the table, quite effective defensively. Forehand flip kill for the point. It's a second point for FEGERL this game. Off the back edge of the table, you could see in that replay. A little late on the turn. Again, the amount of time these players have for the decision. So quick, the decisions they make. Having to turn right there on the middle. Right on the body again, the flat hit for the point. Short side of the table, playing it parallel with the backhand. Feels like he's won just as many points with his backhand spin shot as he has the forehand. Used to the forehand being the key ingredient. Sometimes you have to improvise when your opponent knows your game well and shuts it down. This is the beauty of table tennis, the ability to improvise out here. It's a dance in real time. Whatever your opponent brings to you, you have to figure out something no matter what your plan was. Sometimes just abort the mission and try something new. Left a little bit out in front. Softer shot from FEGERL to throw off the balance of KARLSSON. Still a 3-point lead for KARLSSON. Recovery shot from KARLSSON, fooled, and from down low gets right back into the point and starts with the attacks to take it. The second towel break, KARLSSON in the best position he's been in this match. That was the recovery. There's the spinny backhand. Short stroke on the forehand for the first one, but then he turns up the heat. Really gets the swing in. Now leading 8 points to 4. KARLSSON on the receive. FEGERL with the serve. A lot of pace on that opening backhand from FEGERL. First 2 games, you've seen how dominant that backhand can be. Almost recovers, but the receive left a little too high as FEGERL turns the corner and gets a third ball for the win. It looks like topspin. Seems to be a little bit more topspin than KARLSSON realized was on it. And that's 3 in a row. KARLSSON's taking the timeout. It's a good time for a timeout. Had an 8-4 lead. Chance to open up with the backhand. Sometimes it's mental. It's a question of focus. Soften up for just a minute, lose focus, your head goes somewhere else, and the other guy gets 3 points in a row, and suddenly your lead is gone. Still a 1-point lead for KARLSSON, but he's got to change something out here.
Saxar i killen så han får lite skit i den. Så att han inte riktigt vet om det. Exakt, man ska hålla den.
As far as long services go from KARLSSON, haven't seen too many fast long serves into the body. Looked like the conversation was about touch shots, leaving FEGERL in over the table. Hoping that he'll stay back looking for an attack, get there a little late. We'll see if KARLSSON's timeout can stop the comeback train here from Stefan FEGERL. Many backhand shots in a row. Just staying on the backhand corner, spinning it persistently. FEGERL in a more passive blocking game. Tries to open it up to the forehand side. See the missed contact and disappointment. Much better receive from KARLSSON. Sees it come up. Instead of playing it passively, goes for the over-the-table attack. 1 point away. He's got 3 game points right now. The timeout will have been well justified. Working FEGERL out wide to the forehand, but a bit of side spin bothers him on the block. It's quite common to see side spin on the loops at this level, especially when the ball's hit wide to the forehand. Players tend to take it a little bit late, come around the outside of the ball. Still 2 game points left for KARLSSON now with his serves. And he gets it, a forehand from the backhand corner. 11 points to 8. KARLSSON is on the board, 1 game to 2. We'll be back for game 4. See how things go just after this. And the players are back for game 4. Mattias KARLSSON on a roll now, has a little bit of momentum in his corner. Again, the spinny backhand has been a key ingredient for KARLSSON. Came out a little soft in game 1. Shown a little bit more initiative from both sides. Starting off with the serve now. There it is, the spinny backhand loop. Not usually the bread and butter for KARLSSON, but this match it's been the key ingredient. Spins it from down low with the short pips to set it up. Powerful opening, that backhand receive of FEGERL. Hasn't been fooled too many times when he goes for the backhand. Sees the ball very well. KARLSSON earns the opportunity in the counter looping rally. Sees it come up to the forehand side. Not many players play the same style as KARLSSON. Short pips on the forehand. But again, the backhand technique just beautiful out here from KARLSSON. Really strong pressure low to the net. Seems quite comfortable even from a step off with that shot. Several times in a row, no problem for KARLSSON. At a young age, his coach saw him hitting with the forehand. Thought his form was a little bit lazy on the loop and said, we got to put something on there. Gave him short pips. Played down Angsby. Also in Halmstad. Quite rich city for table tennis in Sweden. The home of Jorgen Persson, Christian KARLSSON. FEGERL getting pumped up. Short serve to the forehand side. Again, tough to read with that reverse pendulum. Contact very subtle. It's the first time we've seen a long, fast serve into the body from KARLSSON. But I can recall anyway, gets a good third ball opportunity, but the rhythm changes a bit. FEGERL takes the point. 3 in a row for FEGERL. And this time, KARLSSON reads it well, anticipates the big opening backhand and blocks it deep behind FEGERL. Changing up his placement was key in that to get FEGERL off balance and in on the forehand side. Deceptive contact again, and the lead's right back to FEGERL. No spoilers, but if you can hear the oohing and awing in the crowd, a bit of a surprise on the next court out here. Back edge at the table. FEGERL takes the point. Again, the crowd's still talking about the Dmitry Ovtcharov match that finished quite abruptly. There have been a few injuries here at this tournament already. But right now in this match, this is the pivotal point, very pivotal time. KARLSSON's got to take this game. Changes it up, lets the ball come off the table, watches it and spins it from down low with the short pips. A very different receive. And you could see that he had completely fooled his opponent, hitting it out wide to the forehand side. So much power, KARLSSON opening up with the forehand, ripping through it with the backhand, and still ready for the ball, just in case. FEGERL almost gets it back to the short corner. So many times that opening backhand has been effective for FEGERL. It's funny, even though KARLSSON used the long serve into the backhand and fooled FEGERL a bit, it was also tough for him because he got quite an unpredictable ball back, changed the rhythm of the play. Well-placed serve right at the baseline of the table, and FEGERL earns himself a game point. There it is, strong receive right off the bounce, keeps it short and earns a fourth ball attack. KARLSSON's tied it up now with the serve to take the lead. Spinny backhand ball stays low, a little more shallow on the table. And it's now game point for Mattias KARLSSON to tie it up at 2 games each. Beautiful receive, but still recovered by FEGERL. That's a huge point right there. From down below the table, KARLSSON spins it up and FEGERL spins it back. Look at this ball right here. It looks like for sure he's in hot water out of the point. KARLSSON not able to apply enough pressure at that point. Just missing wide. Another game point for KARLSSON. The serves of FEGERL have been so threatening, so devastating here to set up his third ball. There it is, backhand to backhand, and opens up down the middle with the forehand shot. KARLSSON sneaks it through, pulls it out, 13-11 to tie it up at 2 games each. Game 5 will put one player ahead. You don't want to miss it right after this short break. And as the players come back for game 5, it's Mattias KARLSSON in yellow hopping around at the top of the screen, who's won the last 2 games to tie it up. Now, as far as mental composure, Mattias KARLSSON lost game 1 11-3, game 2 11-6, and managed to pull out the next 2 games. So points aside, it's tied up. Light spin serve to the forehand side. FEGERL changing it up. So whip-like that backhand. FEGERL seems quite puzzled, having trouble controlling the ball from the middle of the body. That's an outstanding recovery from FEGERL. Fast long serve into the body. KARLSSON immediately on the attack. Big backhand down the line. That shot right there was the one that looked like it should have won the point for sure, but racket head straight up. FEGERL recovers it. Tomahawk chop from KARLSSON on the forehand side. You don't see too many points won like that at this level. It's a bit of a last resort for KARLSSON. Ball takes a bit of a jump at the back of the table. FEGERL again, a magician with those serves. Beautiful shot inside out down the short side of the table, and all KARLSSON can do is catch the ball with the opposite hand. Watch this one more time, right to the middle. Turns, looks like he's going cross court to the forehand side and hits it behind him. Great use of the flexibility of the wrist from FEGERL. And it takes so many shots to finish some of these points against FEGERL. KARLSSON looked like he had won it twice in that rally. Big forehand right on the body, bending away to the backhand to finish it. FEGERL can get in for that backhand receive. He's just deadly. It's been shutting down KARLSSON's game too often. On the forehand side of the table, short to the backhand, usually half long. This time a bit of extra underspin from KARLSSON earns him the point. So much work again. KARLSSON getting the ball back near the net and just crushing it, flat hitting down from the forehand side. For FEGERL to get that first ball back is quite impressive. Covers the middle well again. A little bit too predictable. Comfortable length for FEGERL, able to get the opening backhand on the receive. Top of the net and out. And he had fooled FEGERL on the serve. Switched up location. FEGERL was anticipating it coming to the forehand side. Had to back up quickly. But still kept it deep enough on the table that KARLSSON couldn't really take control of the point the way he wanted to. Christian KARLSSON on his feet in the corner, being a great moral support for Mattias KARLSSON. Looks like a little bit of frustration from FEGERL. Follow-up spin shot again with the backhand, takes the lead to 3 points at 8-5. Misses the contact, hits the edge of the racket. Game's getting away from KARLSSON. And trying to regain his focus. FEGERL too strong, even over the table here with the backhand. Out to the forehand side, and it's 5 game points for Stefan FEGERL to take a 3-2 lead. Counterattack from FEGERL, little break off the top of the net, but it does not matter. It's 11-5. We'll come back for game 6 after this and see if KARLSSON can send it to a 7th or if it's going to finish with FEGERL as the victor just after this. And we're back for game 6. KARLSSON now starting off with the serve down 2 games to 3. So many shots again, backhand to backhand. It keeps coming back, plays the short side of the table and earns it in the middle, finishing with the forehand. Very persistent play. Looks like he's trying to find the middle. That shot right there to the short side of the table is the most difficult shot in that rally. This time the short side of the table a little bit less reachable for KARLSSON. There's a change in passion out here, an energy level from FEGERL. Can hear him grunting through the points. Remember the first 2 games, he seemed quite calm. A little bit more like that last point, just sort of controlling the spin, changing the pace.